Hello everybody, it's Cities Skylines tutorial time again, and today I want to talk about a really common problem in Cities Skylines when you get your city to a certain size, and that is the big single lane traffic jam. And I wanted to bring this up because this is a really common problem, but it gets to the heart of a lot of how traffic management works in Cities Skylines, and traffic management is one of the things people have a lot of issues about. So one of the frustrations people have with Cities Skylines is how lane management works, and it's very common to hear people say, without mods, that the lanes just don't work in this game because traffic doesn't switch lanes. But honestly, it's my opinion that this is actually just a really misunderstood system. So I have a little town here. It's just I haven't been putting too much city planning in because I knew I was doing this tutorial. It's just a little town I've built around an artificial lake. That's the whole thing. And then around the outside of the town, I have placed this big one-way 6-lane road. Kind of sort of in place of a highway. A highway would actually work better, but you need to kind of make these bad decisions to actually show the tutorials. So around the edge, there's a highway here, and the idea is that this will bring people in to the city, to the town, and then they can travel all the way around it to get in, rather than choosing a different entrance. Previously, there was an entrance over here that I've actually taken away. I've made this a one-way road, so this currently is the only way around the city. And just to show you how traffic jams like this are often made through bad city planning too. So the way into this town is to basically take this highway around the side, and it's made a traffic jam. And very specifically, it's almost a one-lane traffic jam. It goes on this right lane here, and it goes all the way up to the first entrance into the city here. So there's a little bit of planning here, but it also gets to the heart of why they're not using different lanes and things like that. And people are joining this road in two different places. There's this, which comes off the highway here, and then there's this, which comes off the highway here, and people joining from other places. And these cars that you see driving off in the distance here, these aren't trying to get to this little off-ramp here. So anything in these two right lanes is basically going to try and turn in here, which is why they're merging in this lane here. So how can you fix a traffic jam like this? Well, I mean, there's lots of different ways. What we're going to try and do is make a few very, very simple decisions that will improve things across the board. The first, and I think the most important thing is, this is actually just a bit of quite bad planning. We only have one entrance into this town. People want to get into most of the stuff to get through. If they want to get across all these different layers of the town and get to the riverside where all the high-value property is, sorry, the lakeside, they're going to take the first exit in here. Even though we've got exits later on, the first thing they want to do is get to the center of this. And so the easiest decision to get in here is here. So one of the first things we can make, one of the very first decisions you can make, just in a planning sense, is let's just put a different entrance on. So I kind of sneakily made this one way. I'm going to take this off now. I'm going to put this back to being a two-way road up to about here. Just to show you the first thing you can do. So this is just very, very basic city management. Think about things like off-ramps. So I'm just going to combine this here, and then all these people entering the city here, entering the little town here, some of them, they just want to go down here, you know? So if you make a shorter route, that's going to help you right off the bat. So this is going to reduce our traffic a little bit. Now this is a 2-lane road. Now we should start seeing them splinter off a little bit. So that's the first thing. Just see if you've got a different entrance. And even if just one or two cars now takes this route, you've helped, really. You've reduced a little bit of the traffic from the side here. So what can we do next? Well, next, we've got to look into a few other things. So, what can we do to reduce this traffic here if everybody's coming in? Well, one very simple thing we can do, and it's going to make a few more problems than it's going to fix in a moment, but, well, it's going to make some new issues, is we can actually make a new off-ramp. So let's make a new off-ramp right down here. This is just going to take this one here. This won't fix all our problems. It's going to upset these people here. These people here, they're still going to have to go down this off-ramp because it's a one-way road. But a lot of the people that are already part of the mess here, they're going to be able to take this ramp off instead. So that's just right off the bat a really simple job. Just increase your capacity of off-ramps. Now, you won't see them taking it just for a moment because it takes the traffic a little bit to realize they have an alternate route. So that's one thing we can do. What's the next thing we can do? Well, let's get into lane management. So why are all these cars just taking this one lane? There we go. That's some of the traffic leaving. Now, we're going to end up with a little jam identical to here, but it should thin out the numbers. So why are they all sticking in one lane? This gets to how traffic management in Cities Skylines works. What you should always do is, when you're putting a one-way road down, or any road really, take a look at the arrows and see where they lead. So, around about here, these arrows, they all go straight down. They don't lead to any off-ramps. You can use any lane you want, in theory. So these guys, they'll be picking their lane based on where this road ends. But as we get closer up to here, you'll see, look at these arrows here. So these arrows go down, 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 down. This one goes down and to the right. What that means is, this is about your road permissions. You are not allowed to drive in these lanes if you're going that way. That's something people really overlook. Look at these street arrows. There's actually only one road here where you can legally, one lane here where you can legally go if you're planning on going down here. And this is automatically calculated based on how many lanes they have to drive off to. This is a one lane off ramp, so they're going to stick to this one lane. So how can we fix this? Well, let's increase the capacity to a 2-lane highway here. Now this capacity is going to fill pretty quickly. 2 lanes versus 1 lane on the off ramp is very, very minor. But if I just upgrade this to a 2-lane road, what you'll see is, burp, these have now changed. Now we have 2 lanes here where you can go if you want to turn down this ramp. And we haven't even made the whole road 2 lanes. We've just done that little bit. We'll do that there. Now, let's take a look and see how that affects the traffic jam. Or the traffic, I should say. Oops, changing the direction there. Now, the traffic is already reduced a little bit because, as you can see, the jam has started to clear because we put this other off-ramp in. We're going to fix that in just a moment. But as you can see now, traffic isn't confining itself to the 1 lane to go down there. It now feels a little bit more free to move. And we'll see, if we just go back and make the same change here, you'll see that starts to have an effect. So we put exactly the same change here. Same effect. There's now 2 lanes they can use to go down there. And what you'll do is, there we go, look how much that's freed it up. There's no longer a single traffic jam going down here. Most people are sticking to the right because, again, when they get to the end, they're trying to go down here. But we've opened up this left lane. Any car that's planning on going down here is going to use the left lane now, which is going to increase capacity. So right off the bat, we fixed the traffic jam down there a little bit, but what we've really done is moved it further down the road. But just by looking into the lanes there, we fixed things a little bit. So, what else can we do? Oh, I should just say, by the way, if you end up with one of these roads way more clogged like this, multiple lanes, and they're all sticking to the right-hand side, another thing you can do just to speed things up is to actually just take an off-ramp and put it on the other side, even if you tunnel under the road. Because if you look at what happens then, you create some onto the left as well. So if you can make little... I'll show you a little pattern, actually. If you end up with one of these 6-lane roads, or a 4-lane, very clogged, something that you can really do to increase the capacity of your multiple lane is actually to just do this. Like that, and then... I'll do for now. Like this, and then you've actually made sure you've got... It's still 4 lanes in the middle, but then you've got off there, and that will ensure they increase the capacity of the road significantly. So, it's just something you can do with lane management. So what can you do then to kind of fix this here, the traffic jam that we've just bumped further down? Well, the last thing, once you've gone through and put your off-ramps a little smarter and restructured your lanes, the last thing to do is to open up your info window and see where the traffic's going. Hold on, I've got these tools on here. You want to open up your info window, click on this symbol here, traffic routes. Click on the road you want to use. Why am I info viewing through the ground? That'll do. And now we can see where most of the traffic is coming from, which we're going to ignore for now, and going to. So from this little traffic jam here, most of it's trying to get to, say, this road here, like I say, the Riverside Road. A huge amount of the traffic coming through here doesn't want to go to these streets here. It just wants to come through onto here. So, now let's look at where it's coming from, and a lot of it's coming from down here and down here. So what can we do to fix this? How can we solve this problem a little better? Well, let's just bypass this road. We still need these roads here. A lot of this traffic still wants to get to and from around here, so we can't just demolish it completely. But if there's a huge amount of traffic that's just trying to get to here or here, let's just make a direct route. Really simple. We'll put a simple 2-lane highway down. If you don't have the 2-lane highways, just any kind of road will do. A simple 1-way road, just whichever you want. Put a simple 2-lane highway down, and we'll connect it from... We want to get as kind of far back into the process as we can. So this is where a lot of this traffic is joining here. So... we'll go while it's still underground. We'll take the... I mean, we're creating some messy roads here. This is not the cleanest solution in the world. But we'll build a little route here. And ideally, they should follow this route because... There we go. Let's make that a little bit deeper so we can get past here. There we go. We wanted to get under this road here. Beautiful. And they should take this route because it will be shorter. And then we just need to find a good place to kind of bring it up. There we go. Beautiful. Had to demolish a couple of buildings for it. But now, if we go back to our traffic view, take a look over here. Like I say, it'll take them a few moments to figure out the routes there. Ooh, actually, maybe putting it over on that side was a mistake. There we go. As soon as you see one car take it, you know it's going to be a popular route. And like I say, it doesn't have to be everybody, but every car that takes the alternative route doesn't add to that traffic jam. There we go, look at that. So now this route's still there for the people who want it, the people who need to access these in-between areas, but anyone who wants to take the direct route can. You've bypassed the whole area. Now, you're still creating traffic issues elsewhere, but this is now a separate road issue to deal with. And a lot of traffic is like this in Cities Skylines. Often you're moving the problems further down, but what we've done is we don't have this single lane highway traffic jam anymore. You know, it's quite a separate issue. You can now fix this in a whole manner of ways. You can put your route on again, see where it's going, and fix it elsewhere, essentially. So there we go. That's how you deal with a single traffic jam in Cities Skylines, if you've got one big jam. It does often feel like you're just moving problems from one place to another, but if you can take one horribly clogged junction and change it to 5 medium clogged junctions, that's really helping your entire city move a lot more smoothly. We have some traffic issues to fix here. Like I say, this isn't perfect traffic management, but it is dramatically improved traffic management. And then if you wanted to maybe upgrade these to 4-lane roads, you'd find the whole thing went a little bit smoother. Or we could add more off-ramps. We could actually build a second tunnel from here to here. In fact, let's pop that on and show you how that goes. We'll just use a single little off-ramp. There we go. And we'll put another one over here, going a little bit further down. Some of these result in slightly ugly layouts. There's no getting away from that. But there we go. People are using this, so now we've created, again, a slightly messier road than was here before, but we've removed a little bit of this tension from the more serious problem here. And that's just what you're trying to do, basically. You're often trying to spread the clog as thin as you can. I'm not an expert in traffic management. I'm just someone who really enjoys the game. But yeah, this is just a few tips you can use to fix slightly messy cities. These are messy solutions, but it's a beginning to think about traffic management in a more fluid, flowing way. There we go. Look how much we've eased that off. Most of the traffic on this junction now is stuff trying to get down here and elsewhere, and you know, there's all kinds of fixes you can do, but overall, we've dramatically increased the traffic in this whole area. We've just still got this big central road, which, again, you could fix by applying the same policies to getting out of the area now. Alright, hopefully that was useful to you. That's how to deal with a kind of single-lane traffic jam in Cities Skylines, and just a few traffic management tips that will hopefully get you started without getting too complicated. And I hope that was useful. Thank you very much. Bye!